Hello, Divine Ones. This is Ashley H.A. Williams for FD 1111 Ministries, home of Tarot, Bible, and Alchemy. This is part 2 of the 5 Laws of Wealth Building series. You can check out last week's episode, which was entitled The Blueprint. From the scripture, Luke 14 and 28. This week's topic is about avoiding debt. This comes from the book of Proverbs 22 and 7. The scripture reads, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower becomes slave to the lender." Real quick, we will jump into the divine numerology. So 22, 2 and 2 equals 4, stability. Stability is something that we all seek. And the number 7, divine guidance. So in order to receive and to activate stability, and I also hear stillness, we have to be divinely led. We have to be divinely in tune. So the scripture is pretty straightforward on the surface level, but of course you know that we're going to go deeper. The rich distribute the wealth amongst the rich. So what is the divine spirit, or what is this text talking about when they say the rich? The haves. Those that have keep the wealth amongst themselves. And I like the fact that they mention the word rich instead of wealth, because wealth is something that is generational. Wealth is a mindset. And we're going to get into that mindset in a moment. And basically what the spirit is saying here is that the rich, they rule over those that are in lack, those that have the lack mentality. So when you borrow something, you are entitled, you are obligated to return it. And a lot of times that this return comes with interest. So you find yourself in a bit of a hole. Not only do you have to return something that you did not have in the first place, but you're on the hook to return even more than what you initially borrowed. But now let's go a little deeper. Let's take this from an ascended level. Rich, wealth, a mindset. That mindset is the mindset of I am abundant. I'm rich in health. I'm rich in wisdom. I'm rich in love. I'm rich in all aspects. Those that have the lack mentality, represented by the word poor, poor in spirit, poor in mentality, poor in self-love, poor in self-confidence, that keeps them bound, keeps them enslaved to the mentality that they have entrapped themselves in, which is the mentality of lack. When one is lacking something, they have the instant desire to fill that void of lack. And this is where you arrive at this idea of the poor, the borrower, the one that seeks out acceptance, seeks out some fulfillment to fill that void, becomes the chaser, becomes the borrower, becomes the slave, keeps them always energetically searching for that fulfillment, to fulfill that void. But if you have poor mentality, poor self-esteem, poor self-confidence, poor self-love, that void cannot be filled. Those that are rich in this scripture are rich within themselves. So what is within is so without. What is above is so below. When one thinketh, so is he or she. It plays out in the 3D experience. So when one thinks and knows that they are rich and abundant and well taken care of and have more than enough, you will see that exude from them, and then you will start to see it, if it has not already manifested, in their actions, which will therefore manifest in their circumstance. The same is true for those that have a poor mentality. So moving on to the divine reading. The 2 cards that we have for this study is the World card and the Moon. Now I did a breakdown of the World card using the Rider-Waite deck. That should be listed in the description box. On the World card, we have a cycle. We have almost like a rubus, in the center a light surrounded by flowers, and this entire sphere almost looking like a snake eye is surrounded by darkness with small speckles of light. The moon card is 2 trees in the midst of the forest in darkness with a crescent moon. This is speaking to the subconscious. This is speaking to the way one thinks. As within, it comes without. It comes and it exudes without. And this is just a confirmation of the scripture, of the breakdown of the scripture. The moon is the secret desires, what really lays under the surface. So the surface could be one that seems to be very confident, one that seems to know thyself, one that seems to have it together. But under the surface is an individual that seeks acceptance, seeks love, and so on and so forth. So that would be the person that is represented by the poor mentality, the one that is seeking to be fulfilled. If you will, the world card could represent the individual of the rich mentality or mindset, the person that is fulfilled, the person that knows thyself, and it exudes from the inside outward. They're complete, the world, the 21st card in the tarot, the completion. They're fully complete within themselves. So you have 2 different types of individuals represented here. Going back to the divine numerology and the stability that comes from the direct contact, the direct alignment with your inner higher self and the spirit speaking and aligning, the world card would be that individual that is spot on. This almost looks like a target, if you would see on the screen, and this person is right dead on. That's how the rich get richer, and this is a metaphor for a person with a certain type of mentality, not so much their financial circumstance. So many will say that they would prefer, or they really desire, stability as far as their financial situation, stability in relationships, but under the surface, represented by the moon card, the subconscious mind, the suppressed conscious mind, that it tells another story. So the spirit is beckoning for those that are finding themselves in this repetitive cycle to question what is their subconscious mindset, what is their subconscious agenda, what is the hidden agenda. And when they have come to that conclusion, then what are they going to do about that hidden agenda? Once that hidden agenda has been brought to the surface, are you going to do like the world card and change the circumstance? The world card also represents change and divine timing with that change. If you guys have any other questions, okay, that concludes our study. If you guys enjoyed this study, then please give this video a thumbs up, as well as leave a comment. You can ask questions, start a conversation. It's all good. If you desire to join our 5-week challenge, come join us on the Patreon page. There you will receive free monthly readings for joining. If you haven't, subscribe. Need of personal services, those services will be listed down below. Thank you guys for all of your likes, your comments, your shares, and the donations. It is much appreciated. So I will check you guys next week. All right, peace.